Bowl championships.
Yeah, and there's a ton. I mean, the way he's able to dissect defenses before the snap is something that I truly admire. That I'm trying to get to that level. The way he's able to move within the pocket and to be able to reset his feet and be completely calm and still make the throw right on the money, no matter who's around him, is something that I have to continue to work on. And as I continue in my career, I'm just gonna try to do whatever I can to watch the tape on him because he's doing it the right way, and you can tell by how many Super Bowl championships he has and the rings are on his fingers.
Let's go next to Lindsey Jones. Go ahead, Lindsey.
Hi, Patrick. I've got two parts, but they're related here. It seems like we're seeing you everywhere now when we're watching television, different commercials, all those sorts of things. So what has been your strategy kind of through your career, and particularly since you signed the contract last summer, about how you wanted to build your off-field brand, your investments, your portfolio? Are there any athletes that you've kind of modeled yourself after? And then as part of that, why have you and Brittany specifically wanted to invest in the Kansas City athletic community with the Royals and the NWSL?
Yeah, to the first part of your question, I think the biggest thing for me is kind of forming people around me that are great people. The partners that I kind of become partners with, the companies that I represent, they all have great leadership. They all have great people throughout that company, and I like to enhance my brand by being a part of that, being a part of great companies that have done it the right way for a long time. And then to the part about Kansas City, I think the thing with me and Brittany is we want to invest in this community as much as they've invested into us. And as far as me investing in the Royals and becoming a part owner in there, and really that's one of my joys I've always had with baseball. And then her with the NWSL team and bringing them back to Kansas City, a place where women's soccer is really, really emphasized and supported. It's just the tip of the iceberg, and we want to continue to invest in this community to be the best community that it possibly can be.
Let's go next to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Patrick. You were joking after the Buffalo game about Tom Brady and saying this was 150 Super Bowls and stuff for him, but wanted to ask you in all seriousness, what kind of role model has he been when you were a younger football player? I mean, what kind of influence did he have on you maybe wanting to go into football, if any? I mean, did you, when you decide you were going to play football instead of other sports, was it, hey, I want to be like this guy, anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, if you're a young athlete and you play any sport and you don't look up to guys like Tom Brady, then you're crazy. I mean, the guy that's had success year in and year out continues to make himself better and not be satisfied with where he's at. He's the type of greatness that you strive to be like and to be towards as you grow up. And so for me, I grew up watching him play, and he's still here playing, and he's still at the top of the game. So for me, I just continue to watch him and watch the things that he does on and off the field in order to figure out the best way to make me the best player possible.
Let's go next to Brian Costello. Go ahead, Brian.
Patrick, just wondering if you could describe what this last year has been like for you, going back to the Super Bowl last year, you know, all the success you've had in the field, getting the contract, expecting your new baby. Just hard to imagine having a better year than the one you've had.
Yeah, I mean, it's full of ups and downs. I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, obviously, winning the Super Bowl, amazing. Being able to celebrate that first championship in 50 years in the Chiefs Kingdom, the parade, all that was awesome. And then we got hit with the pandemic, and I think as a country and as the world, we all strive to continue to try to keep each other safe and keep ourselves safe. And then with all the social injustices and things going on in that realm as a nation, we've had to find ways to strive and make ourselves better there. And then now back into football season and then back in another Super Bowl. I mean, it's full of ups and downs, and I've just kind of realized that I can control what I can control, and that is to be the best person, the best player, and the best person in the community that I can be every single day.
Let's go next to Caleb Byrne. Go ahead, Caleb.
Hi, Mr. Mahomes. Thank you so much, and congrats.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
So, I know one of your buds, Tyrann Mathieu, is nicknamed the Honey Badger for how he plays on the field. But what do you think your spirit animal nickname is?
Man, spirit animal nickname. I would like to be like a wolf. I feel like a wolf, kind of running around with my pack and being able to be a leader and someone that continues to attack and continues to lead as much as possible.
What about your bud, Travis Kelsey? What do you think his is?
Travis, man, it's got to be something funny. I think he'd be like a giraffe. He's kind of just out there grazing around the field, trying to make something happen. Find his different things that he can run around and do stuff with, and he's always a good time.
All right, thank you so much, and good luck on the Super Bowl.
Thank you.
Let's go next to James Palmer. Go ahead, James.
Patrick, Tom's very open about guys your age, if they want to put the time in with their bodies, can play to the age that he's playing at. Have you thought of that as a barometer? If you want to play to 43, 45, and do you already start putting your body through that about maybe having that?
I mean, yeah, you have to. I think that's the biggest thing. If you want to play this sport for a long time, how physical it is, you have to invest as much time into your body as you do anything else. And so I've learned more and more in my young career so far about what I can do to keep myself available and healthy and try to be in the best nutritional state I can be in. I feel like I've gotten better, but I want to play as long as they let me. But in order to do that, I have to take care of my body as much as I take care of everything else on the field.
Let's go next to Steve Walls. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, Patrick, how you doing, man?
Doing good.
Hey, Andy talked last week, and he called you a gym rat. And I know you put in countless hours during the regular season, and you just talked about routine. And I know that you have different media responsibilities this week, but do you feel like you're putting in more or less time at the facility with everything that's happening this week?
Yeah, definitely more. I mean, you got to kind of invest everything you possibly can for this game, especially playing the team that we're playing. I think I used the last week as a normal game week, put all the film down, got the different breakdowns in, everything like that, and then took advantage of every practice day that we had. Then I'm just going to restart it and do it all over again this week. And so having the 2 weeks, you don't want to take a day for granted. Obviously, you have to do the media stuff, and you're appreciative of that and being able to come out here and talk to everybody. But at the same time, you make sure that you're getting your work done on that prepares you for
Herbie Tiopi. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Coach. Good afternoon. How are you?
Hi, Herb.
A couple questions on two injured guys, L'Jarius Sneed and Sammy Watkins. How close is Sneed to being cleared from the concussion protocol? And with Watkins, when you missed practice on Friday, was that just holding back on him, preparing him for this week?
Yeah, so both guys practiced today. Sneed's good to go. He's been cleared. And Sammy worked today. That was just a precautionary thing.
Thank you, Coach.
We'll go next to Nick Jacobs. Go ahead, Nick.
Andy, I'm curious for you, given what you went through last year with the Super Bowl, how much does that benefit you guys having gone through that experience and what to expect and prepare?
Yeah, Nick. This is different because of what we're doing right now. And we're here in Kansas City as opposed to being in Tampa. Last year, we would have already been in Miami doing our thing. So down there, but I don't think you have quite as many distractions as maybe what you'd have in a normal Super Bowl week when you're out of facility. But you still know it's there. You still know that there's a game ahead that is the Super Bowl, and you're able to focus on that part of it probably a little bit better, I would probably say.
Next to Clarence Hill, Fort Worth Star-Telegraph. Go ahead, Clarence.
Hey, Coach. There's been so much talk about Eric Bieniemy not getting the job. Were you upset? I know Bruce Arians said he was pissed off that the Leftwich didn't get even an interview. But were you upset for Bieniemy, and what needs to happen for him to break through?
Yeah, Clarence. I don't really know. I mean, I don't know the answer to that last part of that. Am I upset? Yeah. I mean, I'm a big fan of his, and I know what he can help do for a team, and most of all for the National Football League. And so I think he's so deserving of that opportunity. And I'm hoping someday it comes. Now, I was expecting it last year and it didn't happen. I definitely thought it would happen this year and it didn't happen. But I can't tell you the last part of your question. I think he's as ready as anybody.
Let's go next to Sarin Petro. Go ahead, Sarin.
Coach, first of all, congratulations on being back at the big game. Vita Vea coming back. What makes him so good, and how does he disrupt things for you?
I missed that first. Who was that?
Vita Vea, the defensive tackle for the Bucs.
Yeah, no, Vita is he's a heck of a football player, and he is disruptive. He does a nice job inside there. And he didn't play the last time we played him. So, we respect him as a football player, and we know how talented he is.
Ron May. Go ahead, Jerron.
Hey, Coach, you've been to 3 Super Bowls as a head coach. Where does this one rank among all of them, especially with a difficult season with COVID and all the other extracurricular details that you've been dealing with?
Yeah, I mean, it's unique. So I would tell you that it's an honor to have the opportunity to play Tampa Bay in what's obviously a historic game from the standpoint that there's never been a home team that's played at their own facility. So I think that's a unique situation. And we look forward to that. We look forward to the challenge of playing them. And compared to other Super Bowls, I have a hard time comparing one to the other. I mean, it's they're all so different, and this one surely is unique with the COVID situation that we've been in.
Go next to Paul Domowich. Go ahead, Paul.
Hey, Andy, how you doing?
Good, Domo.
The Bucs have played extremely well since you guys beat them in Week 12. Besides the fact that they didn't have Vita, looking at the tape, what are the biggest differences you've seen in them over the last 7 games in their play?
Well, listen, they're playing organized football all the way around. I mean, in all 3 phases. So they're not making many mistakes. They're creating turnovers on the defensive side. They're keeping the turnover level down on the offensive side. The running back situation, I think, is even stronger with Fournette being able to work in there and feel comfortable. They've got the good wide receivers that we faced before, but I think they're probably more on the same page with Brady than they were back when we played them. So all the way around, it's they're healthier and they're playing at a higher level.
Let's go next to Jeff McClain. Go ahead, Jeff.
Andy, you mentioned obviously Eric Bieniemy, but what about you have another assistant in Mike Kafka that was mentioned as a possible head coaching candidate this past year. He took his name reportedly out of the running on some of those. So what was your advice to him, and what do you make of his qualifications for someday being a head coach, maybe even jumping from quarterback coach to head coach like you did so many years ago?
Yeah, Jeff, listen, he's a good football coach. And he's just getting started in this thing. And it's there's been interest in him for sure, and rightly so. And I know his future is bright.
Let's go next to Susie Colbert. Go ahead, Susie.
Hi, Coach. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you, Susie.
Great. So, Steve Young today on our call was talking about usually like Super Bowl hangovers are usually about personalities. What's been so key for you to have, such an unbelievably unselfish attitude on this team and to build a culture that was able to make it back to this game?
Yeah, listen, our guys, I think, enjoy being around each other. Brett Veach did a nice job of bringing everybody back, and they're an unselfish bunch that like to play, and they like to play together, and that I think that's one of our strengths as a football team. So it's a great culture. It starts with Clark Hunt at the top there as our owner, and it just